What's up, y'all? It's your boy D Jackson. Welcome back to the Drop That Podcast. Before we get started, this is a shout out and to our sponsor, Layback TV, okay? Over 10,000 channels, movies on demand, every sports channel where you can get everything. All the HBOs, all multiple languages. You can get it on your Apple Store for your iPhones and your Play Stores for Androids, or you can have it at home on your Fire Sticks, okay? And you can go on laybacktv.com to check out all of what I'm talking about to see if I'm capping, motherfucker. Okay, check out for all the information on Layback TV, LAYBACKTV.com, and you can ask any personal questions you need about the app on their Instagram on official_Layback TV. Okay, now let's get into some motherfucking fight talk. Whoa. Okay, guys. I know it's almost a week, but I needed time. And I'm talking about, we gonna get into Canelo Crawford, okay? But before we do, because I want my rant to be after, okay? Word is, Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis are now being moved. You know what I mean? From the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, to the Chiesa Center in Miami, Florida, the Miami Heat Arena. Seemed like it didn't work out, but to me, I think that's a blessing in disguise, because one, you know what I mean, that's a dope location for Gervonta, because he's actually sold tickets there, you know, for his fights, and I don't think they're very fond of him taking this Jake Paul exhibition fight, due to the simple fact that, you know, he didn't give the rematch to Lamar Roach, even though it was clearly he lost. So it's being moved to Miami, and personally, I think Miami, they're gonna sell this shit out, because Miami loves these type of situations, because they don't get it a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the last big fucking big fight night that they had at the Chiesa Center was the UFC event. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they had two back-to-back events in this past March and last year March, and that's the big excitement they have. They don't really get these moments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of the time, Hollywood, Florida does at the Hard Rock. You know, you get BKFC a lot. You know what I mean? They love going there. So South Florida loves these type of situations, these type of fights. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's hometown of, you know, South Florida's home tri-county to the legendary Kimbo Slice. May he rest in peace. They love these brawling type of situations, and they love it coming into their city. So I think this was probably a blessing in disguise. You know, I think MVP and Netflix is gonna kill it, you know, as far as the viewership. I don't know if they sell out, but it might be close. But hopefully we can get the rules. I mean, they can make it official about whether this is an exhibition or not. I think it is. There's no fucking way in Miami, Florida State Commission is going to allow this shit to be an actual fight. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, Gervonta already finally spoke on this. I mean, I'm kind of curious when the press conference comes, because the press conference is going to be in New York. I want to see what Gervonta Tank says, right? I want to see what Tank Davis got to say. Jake Paul, I'm hearing too much. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I love the promos that Jake Paul be doing. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. This guy's very fucking entertaining, and he's very talented in the ring. But I want to see what this is about, because, you know, some people compare this to Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. Logan Paul was not a legit boxer. I think he's a legit WWE wrestler, definitely. Definitely a bigger physique than Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather. That's Money Mayweather. Even back then, Pretty Boy Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That's a technician there, right? And, you know, he's gonna weather the storm like he is kind of with in some kind of capacity. He'll do it to Mike Tyson next year, but this is not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake Paul is a legit boxer. Tank Davis is a legit elite fighter and world champion, and that's if WBA didn't strip him of that belt. Personally, I don't even think it matters anymore. I mean, he's not defending the belt. I'm just very curious, you know, when the press conference starts, well, not starts, but when they start asking questions to Tank, why he took this fight, why he didn't take the rematch with Lamont Roach, why he's not giving the people what they want with a fight with Shakur Stevenson or a Teofimo Lopez. I understand why you wouldn't give Ryan Garcia a rematch. That was a high-profile, elite fight we waited 2 years for, and we got it, and we knew what the results was going to be. I even betted on it. So, I'm curious, and not to mention, I'm also curious on where his status is with PBC. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been promoting him. He's been with them ever since he left Mayweather Promotions. He's been in partnership with PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, because they're over there on Amazon Prime. This is definitely a different direction than what he does. You know what I'm saying? And kudos to him. You went from, pay-per-view to streaming pay-per-view, which I don't understand how it's streaming. And then there's, now you're going to full streaming with Netflix. I think this is a great payday for Tank, but are you retiring? What comes next? You know what I'm saying? Are you still with them? Like, what's going to happen with you? You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to see what that's going to be. But salute to Jake Paul and Tank Davis for taking this fight to Miami. I think that's going to be a great business situation. Let me see what else we got. We had UFC Noche. I wasn't too fond of the card. I don't give a fuck, whatever. I think UFC Noche was more interesting at the Spear last year, but whatever. We had Diego Lopez for TKOing Jean Silva, one of the fighting nerds, and I had Silva to win the fight. He got dropped in the first round, and I was like, oh shit. I kept telling my homie that I was worried that the pressure was gonna get to him, and he was just gonna lose his shit, and kind of like the other two fighting nerds, Rufy and Kyle, did last year in Paris. They kind of folded under the pressure, and he came back and he came to fight. Silva came to fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? He was just tagging Lopez, but experience won everything because Lopez has been here. You know what I mean? He was at UFC Noche last year with Brian Ortega. He fought for the title against Volkanovski. He kept his name in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And he dropped Silva, and they stopped the fight. So Lopez made sure with that win against Silva, he's still in the conversation of what to do next. You know what I mean? And everybody's talking about what like who's gonna get Volkanovski in December. Volkanovski wants to come in December. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about Volk. Not because, he ain't who he is, what I'm saying, because he's still the UFC featherweight champion. Volk got cast in Street Fighter, along with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and 50 Cent and so on, right? Even Jason Momoa. I'm a little curious on, you filming Street Fighter, and then in a month and a half later, you're training to fight in December. We've seen guys film movies and come back not the same. I mean, we saw one of my biggest disappointments is Rampage Jackson. Like, I'm a huge Quentin Rampage Jackson fan, former UFC light heavyweight champion, and apparently he didn't. He filmed A-Team as Mr. T. Mr. T's character, Bosco. And he came back to fight Rashad Evans, which was the most highly anticipated fight we've wanted from him. They were supposed to fight for the title, and it didn't happen. Rashad lost the title. They filmed The Ultimate Fighter, and so on. You Google the history. You already know. So I'm kind of worried because if Volk comes back, right, word is there's a 50-50 chance he's going to get Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy knocked out Aaron Pico last month, and if he don't get Lerone Murphy, he probably would get former UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. I think personally, if they give it to Murphy, Aljo's probably gonna get Lopez. I mean, let's call it what it is. Aljo deserves to be in the conversation because he beat former two-time title challenger Brian Ortega. The last outing against Ortega, he actually they had to fight at a catchweight 153 because Ortega couldn't make weight, so that doesn't fall on Aljo. Aljo should still be top 5 featherweight, but let's see. I mean, I think we still got time. I think they announced something for October, since October, November are pretty much completed. I think they're gonna probably start announcing for December next. But we'll see. But shout out to Lopez on the victory. Definitely rest in peace to the hitman Ricky Hatton. Rest in peace, brother. You know what I'm saying? He was training to come out of retirement and had a scheduled fight or something like that. I remember his days. Some people, don't want to give him credit on the days that he actually won. This guy was an undefeated fighter. I'm not saying that my favorite fight was when he lost to Manny Pacquiao. My favorite fight from Ricky Hatton, because he was at the elite level at this time. He was a world champion, undefeated, was when he fought Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there. I think that was in late 2007, December 2007, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because 4 months later, Mayweather was at WrestleMania 24. I got to see him live against The Big Show. So, Ricky Hatton, I think it was titled Undefeated for the promo. Floyd Mayweather, Ricky Hatton, that was a fight. It was one of my favorite fights. Floyd won via finish, but in the end of the day, it was the elite of Ricky Hatton. He came to take out Floyd Mayweather's head. It was whoever had the better IQ at the time and better game plan, and Floyd got it. But I give flowers to fighters on the fights that they lost. You know what I mean? Favorite matches, favorite fights. It could be my favorite from a guy and he lost that one. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Not all my favorites are them niggas are actually winning. Okay? So, rest in peace to Ricky Hatton, man, and, prayers and positive energy and healing energy to his friends and family. But before we get out of here, Canelo Crawford. Okay. So, great card. It was a great card. It was good to watch. It was part of Riyadh's season. It was part of Ring Magazine, and it was part of Zuffa Boxing with Dana White. Let me see. I think I like the presentation. I've been to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and it was a great showing. You know what I'm saying? It's a great stadium. Allegiant is a great stadium. Gotta salute to everybody over there. And when it came down to main event time, I was kind of curious, like, because we've seen the Riyadh season boxing events, you know what I'm saying? They're like concerts, but not really in some way. It's just a little weird. And Dana White said he wanted to not slow it down and, keep up the pace like it is in UFC. Like, let's get to the entrance, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it the way we do it in the UFC. Let's get the music, the guy coming out, more music, another guy coming out, get him in the ring, introduce them with the ring announcers and everything like that, and let's get into it. I like that motto that Dana White is doing. I think it's needed in boxing. I mean, there's a lot of there's certain things. It depends on how you fucking look at it. And let's call it what this is. This is why we call it the Drop That Podcast, because we drop all that bullshit that you guys be on about we can't say this and we can't say that. Fuck you if that's what you are. Change the channel, okay? I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, do we really need the national anthems and all of that shit? No, we got that in other sports. We got that in the Super Bowl. We got that at the World Series. You know what I mean? We pay the respects to these countries. Do we need it for boxing? I don't think we do. Why do we need it? You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're not promoting these boxers that are from different countries. You know what I'm saying? Like Mexico or, Japan or even America. We don't, and I'm not being biased, we don't have to do it for America either. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. We need to introduce these fighters. This is side A, side B. This is for what championship? Boom. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Why got these guys, these fighters who put their lives on the line and do this for a living are literally sitting in the locker room getting fucking warmed up. Why do we need to fuck him, get him all cold again, sitting there in the ring waiting while you do all this other bullshit? I like this model. So salute to Dana for doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta admit, you know, when Crawford, when the music were playing, right? Like, ay, amor. And then Crawford's name came into the fucking Titantron, and he came out with a guitar like he was Antonio Banderas from Desperado, the man himself, El Mariel, with the guitar case and everything. Yo, I gotta say, he does this. He did it with Earl Spence. Earl Spence is known as the Shark, and what did Terrence Crawford come out with? Came out with a shark net. He's here to catch a shark. And yo, I love it. Whoever's coming up with these ideas for Crawford is fucking perfect. You know, Canelo came out and everything was good and everybody was getting ready. And, you know, my brother asked me, what, you know, if Crawford wins, how does he win? My thing is, if I'm his trainer, you know what I mean? We fill him out. We fill him out in the first round, see where he's at with it, keep him guessing, keep it southpaw, and then by round 2 we attack. We smother him with flurry of punches, with combinations, body shots, jabs, but make sure you lead with the fucking jab and still keep it southpaw, because Dimitri Bivol gave problems to Canelo. You know what I mean? He smothered him. They're gonna say, oh, it was 175 pounds, it was light heavyweight, blah blah blah, whatever. Canelo chose to get it. If he was cherry picking fights, he cherry picked a challenge. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the way you beat him. You know what I mean? Don't go in there like Triple G and wait for him to come to you. Like, don't do that shit. That's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I think he needs to attack right out the gate. I was right, but I was wrong. Crawford didn't wait for second round. First, as soon as the bell rang, he went after Canelo. Pop, pop, pop. Kept his southpaw, taking him out. Pop, pop, pop. Now, kudos to Canelo. Iron fucking jaw. He ain't getting knocked out. The older he get, he still ain't getting knocked out. And I watched every round, step by step. I looked for jabs. I looked for hooks, straights, uppercuts, body shots, combinations, footwork, head movement, all of that. And I scored the fight. Round 1 all the way to round 11, I gave Terrence Crawford. I only gave Canelo round 12. Call me crazy. Now, you can call me crazy, but when you look at these scorecards, these fucking judges were on a verge to possibly fuck over Crawford. Because rounds that Crawford easily won, they gave it to Canelo. It's like, what the fuck were they watching? It was some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you know what I mean? So, in hindsight, winner by unanimous decision, and new, undisputed, undefeated, 43-0, WBC, WBO, IBF, and WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Champion, and the first male to win an undisputed championship in 3 weight classes. Not the first person, the first male. First person was Clarissa Shields. Terrence Bud Crawford. Salute to you, brother. Bam. I think it was a great fight. Before we get out of here, let's talk what's next. I mean, I asked a lot of people who bet on Canelo, and they think this is crazy shit. One of my homies told me that if Canelo comes back, like, what did he come back for? Like, there is nobody at super middleweight. I agree. Canelo, like he cleaned out that division. There is nobody at super middleweight. What are you going to do? Rematches? You know what I'm saying? Like, rematches? Why? Why are we doing that? You know what I mean? Clearly, if you dominated or you finished them, there's no reason for a rematch. My homie thinks that Canelo should look towards a Jake Paul fight next. My thing is, I think that would be great for Canelo to a certain extent because he signed a 4-fight deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh, his excellency at for Riyadh season, right? He signed a 4-fight deal. He's only 2 out of those 4 fight out of the way now. He owes 2 more fights on that contract. Now, in that contract, you could work out a deal where Canelo takes on Jake Paul. It still counts on his contract, but a co-promotion between Riyadh Season, Ring Magazine, and MVP, most valuable promotions, and you get the fight. Obviously, Jake Paul will be the side B, and Canelo will be side A. You can still do it. You just won't do it for no world championship. But it's depending on how you do it. Are you going to do it for a title? You know what I'm saying? Like what are you going to do it for? You know? I mean, the highest Canelo fought was at 175, which is light heavyweight. And I believe it's 180 or 185 for cruiserweight for Jake Paul. I don't see it happening, due to weight issues, not promotion issues. But let's see. I mean, I think Canelo should look into possibly a rematch because he earned it. A rematch with Crawford. Obviously, Crawford will be side A this time, so it will be labeled as Crawford versus Canelo, part 2. And then on the final fight, if you want to do Jake Paul, I'm pretty sure you'll be available somehow. You know what I'm saying? But as for Crawford, yes, I think the rematch, and some people threw out, Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? His Excellency literally tweeted, can Benavidez make 168 again? Benavidez is 175 WBC champion right now. World champion. He don't need to go back to 168. I don't think he should, because I think Benavidez is a fucking huge 168 pounder. Pause. You know what I mean? I don't think it makes sense for him to go there. He should fight Dimitri Bivol. I don't think that fight, that's a hungry lion against Crawford. I mean, I don't think it would make sense. I think for Crawford, he should give the rematch to Canelo, vacate the belts, do one more fight before retirement, do 45-0. You know what I'm saying? If you could make it, and go down to 160. I don't think he's going back to 154, but go down to 160. I'm not saying fight Jamal Charlo. That's pointless. Unless you want to take on the Charlo brothers, because that's a story. But let's see Crawford versus Boots Ennis. I think the fans need that. They should have it. Just like we didn't get Benavidez Canelo. But that's in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise than that, great fights, guys. But that's Fight Talk, baby. I'm your boy Eddie Jackson. So drop that podcast. Yo, make sure y'all subscribe, like the page, run those likes up, motherfucker. You know what I mean? You already know what the fuck it is. We gonna have these conversations. And leave some comments you like. If you agree to fucking disagree. But watch your mouth. Okay? Y'all be safe, alright? Peace.